Hey there, y'all. Bunkle here. Gonna be opening up a couple Rack Packs 1988 tops. Now, I'm not gonna say anything about production control in these. I want you to notice something that I saw quickly. You got the 1987 All-Star card in one of these, but not in the other one. You also got cards upside down and everything else. Who knows? Um, Typical of the, as they call it, junk wax era. I call them vintage. A lot of collectors call these junk wax just because of the massive numbers of cards produced and different things like this that were going on. Now, just because something is junk wax, or as they call them, junk cards, because of how many were mass produced, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not without value. That's for sure. And PSA 10, if you do find any of them that are well enough centered and all of that to be a PSA 10 card, they definitely do hold some value. Just scrolling through the PSA website here, and I'm sure if you checked on eBay, you'd probably find things that were sold over the last year. Um, but some of the higher price cards, weirdly, the highest price card in this set, according to PSA, is the John Cangelosi. Now, again, that could be just because there's only one or two available. I didn't check the pop report on this. I'd suggest you do. But then that one right there is about $700 in a PSA 10, and probably like $3. Let me click and check. And a PSA 9. Now, one's never been shown as sold in a PSA 9, and there's only been one sale of the John Cangelosi card in a PSA 10. And that was in 2021 for almost $700. So there must have been a set collector out there that just really wanted to put together a PSA 10 set of 1988s for whatever reason. Similar price, or similar situation for Tom Brunansky, which sold for $261. The Dwight Gooden in a 10 is over 200. There's a good half dozen. Nolan Ryan, Steve Ontiveros, Calvin Schiraldi, Don Sutton. So you're talking only two Hall of Famers in that. And Dwight Gooden, who could have possibly been. Tom Brunansky, who went through the hype machine as a great player, but didn't exactly pan out the way they thought he would. All of those cards at one point or another sold for over $200 in a PSA 10. Beyond that, above the $100 range in a PSA 10, again, we're talking players like Junior Ortiz, Keith Hernandez, George Bell, Allen Anderson, Mario Soto, Danny Gladden, Felix Furman, Fred Lynn, Tom Benzinger, Fernando Mania Valenzuela, Mike Pagliarulo, Jeff Bover, Tim Stoddard, all over 100, and the Mark McGwire error card with the white triangle. Looks like when you see that one, if I pull one of them here, there's a slight difference between the error card, which has a white triangle right near Mark McGwire's foot, and the corrected version doesn't. It seems like somebody, if they were using some sort of photo editor or whatever, I mean, nowadays it's Photoshop, but whatever they were using back then, they must have missed a little niche next to his white sneaker. And there's a decent sized price difference between the two cards. The one with the white triangle was sold for $132.50 most recently, and the other one was sold for a lot less than that. I don't even find it on the list here, so it's somewhere so far down that it's not even in the $50 range. Now, there's also Keith Comstock, where his team is either in white or in blue. Again, it's a variation of sorts. What else? Eddie Murray with a caption and no caption on the front, which is an interesting enough card. Again, it's one of the ones that if I find it open in these, I'd definitely be happy to find both varieties of this Eddie Murray card. This is the Record Breakers card that I'd be looking for. One with no caption, another one with a caption. Yeah, well, when we see it, we'll know what it is. That's for sure. What else? Now, of course, you have these all-star cards. It's supposed to be one per pack, but like I said, it seems like one is missing here. those do have some value also, although definitely not as much as the rookie cards that were put into the jumbo packs from the same year. The jumbo packs had rookie future stars in them, and these had all-star cards. Now, interestingly enough, the Mattingly in a PSA 10 is the highest price of the all-star cards, and a PSA 10, that's $80. So, nice hit right off the bat. Now, what else about 1988 can we talk about here? Well, the Super Bowl, January 31st, 1988, the Redskins beat the Broncos 42-10, so high scoring football game there. In the 1988 World Series, that's kind of best known for Kirk Gibson in Game 1. Didn't start the game and then got a walk-off home run off of Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley. If you want to think about movies from that year, 8 Men Out came that year about the White Sox, Black Sox scandal. Other good movies, somewhat, some no. The Last Temptation of Christ came out that year. Fish Called Wanda, big difference there. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? You know what? The way they draw her is no further comment. If you want to talk music from that year, Metallica was still all the way up on the charts. Paula Abdul hit with her Straight Up Now. Poison. I remember they had a whole big mess, Poison with Motley Crue at that time. It was interesting times there, that's for sure. What else? Bette Midler's Wind Beneath My Wings was one of the big songs that year. Bon Jovi with Bad Medicine. I'll stick with Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. And Don't Believe the Hype, It's a Sequel by Public Enemy. And Straight Outta Compton, NWA. So definitely some great music, great movies from that year. Anyway, enough with all that. Let's get some baseball cards. Oh, and one other card that I should probably make a mention of is the Al Leiter. Now, that's one that we were looking for in New York all the time. Al Leiter rookie card where they pictured somebody else besides Al Leiter on what was considered the error card. And they later came back and corrected it. But it's pretty legendary, and it's also a fun thing to have in your personal collection is both of those cards, that's for sure. I like varieties, variations. They keep things fun. All right, we are going to be starting off with Alan Ashby, Jeff Stone, Shawan Dunston, Dave Henderson. Got the Phillies leaders there. Nice card there. Donnell Nixon. Looks like he's got eye black only under one eye. Rob Ducey. Ron Robinson. Frankie V. See, he's starting to grow into his baseball mustache there. Paul Nosnoke. Felix Furman. Okay, pretty cool card there. As I mentioned, in a PSA 10, one was sold at one point for $150. You know what? I'm going to keep that one on the side. Centering on that one looks pretty fairly even. I mean, centering kind of kills you on all of these, but I'm going to keep that one off to the side. Got Ernie Riles. Ooh, and speaking of Al Leiter, there goes one of the Al Leiter varieties. All right, very cool. I'll keep that one up over there. I'll wrap that up in a second. And Gene Mauch looking all tense there. Let's get the Al Leiter and a frapper. And I'm going to get that Felix Furman in one also. Just put a little bit of protection around it. Because I would not mind flipping a common card for that kind of money, that's for sure. Although the centering's looks like it might be a bit off. I'll do some measurement on that. As long as it hits that 55-45, it's all good. All right, let's get to part number 2 here. Now this is just a 2-pack opening. Pardon the cough there. A little bit of a dry throat going right now. All right. We got Jody Reed. Steve Ontiveros. I mentioned him as a higher price card also. That's definitely off center. So you go common. Jay Aldrich. Ed Romero. Mike Bilecki. Larry Herndon. Steve Crawford. Mark Grant. James Steele, Mark Real, Don Sutton. Okay. See, and again, centering is off a bit on that one. So, Eric Plunk, Greg Maddox, centering off on that one also left to right. And David Coney. Nice card there. That, I believe this is David Cone rookie. So I don't remember him being in the 87 set. I'm going to throw that one up also. Cohen had a great career with the Mets and with the Yankees. Bounced around a couple of the teams also. Not a Hall of Famer, but great pitcher. All right, we got part number 3 here. All right, we're starting off with Gary Gaetti, part of that great Twins team. Fred Manrique, Todd Worrell, Mike Mason, Dave Schmidt, Steve Farrer, Greg Gagne, Cal Ripken Sr. for you, Nick Isaski, Lenny Dykstra. Now that one's definitely badly cut. Got the bow. All right. Badly centered there, top to bottom, left to right, all over the place. Domingo Ramos, Wizard of Oz, great Hall of Famer there, and Jeff Calhoun. Got a couple more to frap up. I'm going to move Coney off to the side. Need to make some space for the Hall of Famers here. I don't know why I have the Felix Furman up on the Wall of Fame. I just wanted to keep that off to the side, and the outlier is just a cool one. All right, let's get to opening pack number 2 here. I'm definitely going to get that Mattingly in a frapper there. Although, does that? Ooh, come on. Get out of that pack. Get out of there. What's wrong with you? You don't want to get out of the pack. I get it. After being in there for 34 years, 35 years just about, you want to stay in that blanky pack. All right. Now that actually looks really nice. Well centered. Everything very cool about that. I'm going to keep that one on the side. That's a good card anyway. And I'll definitely hang on to any Mattingly's, that's for sure. Now, that lighter is the one with the Yankees NY on the shirt versus no NY on the shirt. I mean, that's the way they define the error in PSA. Got John Tudor. Sorry about that. I'm clicking away over here also, getting myself back situated. I probably shouldn't be doing this during a video. Kick me for it later if you don't mind. John Tudor. Wally Backman. George Brett, Hall of Famer card there. John Shelby. Nolan Ryan, great card to find. Very nice. Very, very nice. That's his number 6, the Ryan Express. Fans 200 for the 11th season of his career. Now that's the special card. It's not the higher valued one, and centering on that is, of course, perfect. Okay, got Mario Soto. Now again, speaking of commons, and this one is badly centered, $150 on a well-centered one of that. So you just go into the stack. We got our baseball checklist. Jim Morrison, not that Jim Morrison music fans. Mickey Hatcher, Mike Campbell, Alan Ashby, Jeff Stone, Shawan Dunston, got Dave Henderson, and the Phillies leaders. Cool card there. Let's get those frappered up. A couple more frapperable cards. Keep that going on the Hall of Fame side. The Wall of Fame, Hall of Fame. Got the George Brett. And the Donnie Baseball. Now again, that is really nicely scented. I think I'm going to top load that one also. I'll measure it out a bit more later, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever. I'm getting a bunch of cards ready to go off for grading to PSA. A couple that may also go to SGC or other companies. I've been hearing just back and forth about PSA and then other companies as well, as far as what they're going, because grading is subjective. So things that everybody or anybody might believe is a 10 are coming back with 7s and 8s somehow. And then you break them and resubmit them and they get a 10 afterwards. So don't know what's up with that. I mean, with all of the AI, it'll be interesting to see how grading companies like Tag and HGA, I believe is the other one, how they adapt and take off. We'll see what happens. All right, another Hall of Famer there, Harold Baines, Chuck Krim, Chet Lemon, Mike LaCallis, Henry Cotto, Sparky Anderson, Shane Rowley, Roy Smalley, Gary Ward, Paul Kilgus, Tony Gwynn, great Hall of Famer card there. Very nice card. I'll frapper that one up. Greg Booker, Eric King, and Floyd Rayford. Get that one up on the Wall of Fame. All right. Gwynn, you go next to Brett. Makes sense. Batting average kings. You got Nolan Ryan pitching to Bo Jackson. You got Al Leiter pitching to Ozzie Smith. It's some pretty good matchups here so far, I'd say. Here we got our last part. And this is El Cid Fernandez. Great Mets pitcher. Jose Lind. Just a lot of tough luck with the Mets pitchers between him and Ron Darling. If they would have had any other if they would have had batting support, hitting support during those years, they would have won 20, 21, 22 games a year. Jeff Montgomery, Lloyd Mosby, Charlie O'Brien, Bobby Thompson, Ken Landreau, Mookie Wilson, Bill Pecota, Dave Concepcion, part of the Big Red Machine. A long career there. He was playing forever and then a few days. Mark Davidson, Jim Acker, Mark Clear, and Todd Benziger. I don't know why he looks like a Benziger. Anyway, so that was fun. So yeah, weirdly enough, only one of the packs had the All-Star card in it. But I think there was some great pulls in this one. The Al Leiter with the Yankees on his jersey is a nice one. All those Hall of Famers, that's great. And if I found something, I'll check the centering on that one. But it looks pretty sharp to me. Corners are sharp, edges are sharp, all of that. I definitely wouldn't mind if that's worth grading, getting it graded, and Looking for another set builder, set collector, trying to put together a PSA 10 set of this particular year. And be able to buy a couple more boxes of these cards. And sometimes flipping cards, it's something that you do just so you could end up buying more, so you could have more, so you could get some more towards your personal collection. There was a video that I was seeing recently. I forget who did it, but where they're basically working their way up from a good card. I don't remember what it was exactly, but from some card up to a T206. It reminds me of one of the old experiments trying to trade the red paper clip all the way up to getting a house, and the person succeeded. You can Google that and find out about the story. But yeah, traded a red paper clip for something. I think it was for a pen at first, then for something else and something else, and whatever it was, 90 trades later ended up in a house. You never know. Somebody might be interested in something that you have, and barter is alive, that's for sure. Just thinking about the egg situation going on in supermarkets. I don't know if it's the same thing by y'all, but I know when I was in the supermarket this weekend, in Walmart this past weekend, even there looking at the price of like regular eggs or the organic bougie eggs, seeing prices of $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 a dozen for eggs kind of floored me. It makes it worth making a trip over to Pennsylvania, uh, quick couple hour drive, and seeing if I could hit one of the farm stands over there for some eggs. I mean, last time I rolled through there, they definitely had dozens in their mini fridges, and their prices right now are better than the supermarkets unless they jumped also. But thinking about barter, I wonder what they'd be willing to trade for. Maybe a Al Leiter with New York Yankees on his jersey. Who knows? Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed. Just want to say I definitely appreciate all subscribers, comments, thumbs up, and all of that other great stuff. Before cutting out on y'all here, y'all take care, stay well, stay blessed. Bunkle out.